very expensive to keep it clean, maintain, this sort of thing. Even if you bring in fish, you make it clean, keep some of the algae down for reason. It's still a lot of maintenance involved, a lot of money. Versus agriculture, I'm gonna pay these $6, for your food, you sell it for people. So way cheaper than versus agriculture. Is that the answer? We got a lot of empty buildings around here. 96 years, I could go, they would involve robotics, vertical farming, so that's all. But they would involve in a lot more innovative things. I did run into a genius, he's 15, graduated from high school already. He's working on fertilizer for hydroponics. So it can be more efficient and not so synthetic and things of that nature. So there's people moving in that direction. It's how do I feel about hydroponics? Somebody else has seen that. It's like, it's a waste. If I live in the city and I thought about commercial property, then yes, again, I will throw that into my loan equation. And I need robotics, I need tubes, that sort of thing. Solar power probably, because again, I have to control the environment. So that means temperature and electricity and water flow on a timer, things of that nature. Is it the way of the future? I mean, I literally got to be trained in hydroponics. Some of the prettiest lettuce I've ever seen. and so you like, and even when we talk about even GMO, people don't like GMO. But in reality, we don't like basic fruits. It was mangled, it looked crazy. So they were doing GMO for the album. And now it's a conflict with organic. So because of that reason, now you hear more about GMO. But the second you had orange, they didn't put that white stuff on your hands. Grapes with no seeds. Pretty red tomatoes. Pretty green apples. Perfectly shaped pears. GMO has something to do with it. Is it bad? No, I mean, it's changing the genetics, so it looks pretty, but it's, it's no different than, human beings. Viruses changes into different things all the time. You can actually nature. Yeah. So I think more that toward GMOs and hydroponics, it's gonna get some type of GMO involved.
It's not really GMO, but the thing that I was talking about with the hydroponics is just bringing it in the mix as an option, because as you know, that's one of the initiatives that we are focusing on right now. And part of the reason has been the younger generation not really feeling getting their hands dirty, getting in the dirt, right? Also being able to bring in, like you say, a tower of food in a community where you're able to grow 2 acres of food vertically, where we're looking at space, but also looking at rainwater, solar power, and mixing several different conservation types of initiatives in one to make it more viable and sustainable in a community, right? Not necessarily, now I come from the country, y'all. I grew up with my hands in the dirt. My dad had a farm, he had a garden. I worked in that garden against my will, every single year, me and my brother. And so I definitely understand the life lessons, the power of connecting with the soil, understanding how to do crop rotations, what you shouldn't grow year over year. Those are things that I learned as a young person, not really knowing I learned that, right? But now being introduced to hydroponic farming, I still kind of lean towards old school traditional farming, but I do see the power and the necessity to introduce something else in the mix, because as we evolve and we want people or want the different generations to be involved in the continuation of farming. And maybe the introduction might be hydroponic farming, and it's a little bit easier. You're just putting nutrients in the water and you don't have to get your hands dirty. But then sparking conversations like this to be able to move into, traditional farming. So I wouldn't cancel out hydroponic farming or traditional farming, but I just think that we have to find a way to bring it into this new generation and make sure that there is sustainability in both ways. And of course, with ingenuity and technology and all of these different things that we see coming up, we now are introducing these things into, general population, general access. It's not something that is, inaccessible. It's being more and more accessible. So I just wanted to throw that in there just to kind of see. I mean, I think these are some brilliant minds sitting here just to see the thoughts and what we can come back with as we start looking at, like, my granddaughters, their generation. I love putting my hands in the dirt. I love gardening now. I didn't like it then, but I like it now. So
Well, how do I balance that?
yeah.
Money.
I like that answer.
Yeah, and I want you to think about this. So these are community gardens. Here, and that is not conducive for anything like that. And that's because we got 300 people in every country. So let's say I got this community garden, I want to start on the sustainable system. That's why we're here at this location too, to kind of see how do we foster starting something like this, right? And the issue is we need big farmers. Period. I don't care if you put it in a building or whatever, you gotta have access to that. Or people is going to Kroger, going right back to Kroger. If I come here and eat my tomatoes, I need tomatoes. I cook them every day. I'm going to stop at your place, pick up some tomatoes if you have them. Okay. Don't be well known because here's what that means. It's gonna be out. Just like that. No one is coming though, even the old people. It's gonna stop coming. Nobody there, right? So in my mind, empathy. I love to put like an outdoor feed there, and you just sit around. And you can bring more things that can be foot traffic there, right?
Definitely.
Right. So you want to start that, and then you still got to connect to big farmers because it's nothing like 200 acres. An acre is 5 even if I flip that thing straight up and down, put it in there, and still just one. My 96 teachers. Okay? Just one. It's just not enough. That's all. So even if we start with that, we learn with that, how can we sustain a community that we cannot? And that's how it goes. And then I'm just talking about them. So where I look at the rural area, they may have 5,000 people. And that's the max. People think, oh, that should be easy. Except everybody's wanting different things for money. They ain't even want it. They got their own little garden, they got yards, and things of that nature. So we cannot get away from that as far as like teaching,
Absolutely, education.
Putting it in schools because control environment. Trying for a school to put a garden outside is very difficult for down seasons, like summertime and wintertime. It's spring break when really everything's going every week. If you haven't noticed, we're going to bring former people in here. Literally, when it's harvest season, stuff is you can cut down almost every 2 weeks, grass, everything like that. And so again, you need people for that. I was speaking of robotics and things of that nature. Still, how much can one person control? Because that's what we end up coming down to, either like a student, or a person, or a household, even with some 10 farmers, they have 12, 13 brothers and sisters.
We know the size of families back in
Yeah,
the day.
and
My
so-
dad was one of 11.
Why is that?
Because
Shared property, right? I got in a shared property, now I got 200 acres. Who's gonna help me with that? If I start popping out 13 kids, so that became an error. And you know what left with that error? Tractors. People start having using the kids and put tractors there. Isn't that amazing? So just even progression of agriculture. Right, no, I'm just telling you, I got a tractor now while we was pushing behind the plow, what we had to do. Now I got tractor attachments.
The grocery
So I get a plant, get a harvest, and just hydraulically hook that thing up. So that's important as well, just, in recognizing connection, how important is connections. We ready for you. So, yeah. And he can tell us a little bit about his farm. He has an urban farm. So it's definitely a place to learn and teach. Because if you don't do nothing else, feed yourself. But like, and I'm gonna close with this. So let's say I got 2 acres of carrots growing in my yard, right? Coach K carrots, right? I got my daughter, that's my daughter, she's a Terry Parker.
Hello.
She is an environmental engineer, University, and does impact studies and all this great stuff. And so Coach K carrots, we got carrots, bam, she come along and like, we can have carrot juice. That's a value-added product. So now I got carrots and carrot juice. We got Coach K juice, carrot juice, got Coach K carrots. Her children come along, they take the pulp and turn it into shampoos and lotions. Now Coach K's carrots is huge. We got juices, shampoos, lotions, all because I started growing some carrots. That is generational wealth, progression, watch people get into farming. That's good. Okay, so Pete, let's say I want to get into urban. I want to grow something, and I don't have no huge 40 acres, don't invest me in land or property. Tell me about yourself, Pete, man. What's next? So this is I think the basis too for how they want to get started, and global Shanghai farms. Yes.
Yes, the basics is first starting, what do you want to grow at? Where do you want to grow your food at? And what seeds you're going to purchase and what soil you're going to plant it. And I think the most important thing is how many times are you committed to the garden? I think for a farm perspective is, are you in it to make money or to feed yourself or your community? I think the most important thing is how much time are you willing to feed it? Does it work? That's the hard thing about it. But it's a black work that you learn techniques and stuff like that. I guess it's, my perspective is how you interested and how you're ready to get started on farm. I guess the first step is what are you going to plant and where you're going to sell. How you want to make the product come to listen. The water, soil housing, the seed housing, the tool housing, and knowledge. So I've been farming 200 years, so I helped build a farm and start with gardens. And now we teach urban gardens, rural, mentor here. 4 months training, no knowledge on farming. Message doing planning, rows of that was
What you play was
Oh, that farm.
farm was it was
Trees and onions.
onions, about 100 onions that's not really planting there. I guess the glory is why do you want to do it? Like I hear us talk about the work of it, the money, the help you eat, but the reason why that's most important. I guess for a green space, saying for the environment, are you gonna do it for the environment and also for yourself? And on you.
So what got you into this?
Well, my dad is in Mississippi. We started off going up to Chicago, going to Mississippi every summer, volunteer on the farm.
So you wasn't forced. You wasn't one of
I was
those.
forced.
Oh, you still forced? I'm
So
That's
everything
the
is
issue too.
good out to Mississippi to pick the cotton fields and the sugar beans. So we had to pick beans with bats over heads. Remember, I'm 9 years old picking beans with bats flying over heads. And really flying like this to get to the lights.
Wow.
So we had to pick that every summer because it was our basic. So my dad came back. We had a garden in our backyard. And so I had the tenant garden, plow the whole, water back and forth. I didn't use my
You got
I went to
volunteer.
school and got out. We went to school, started this it was not, landscape. Then I came back to farming. I seen how it was more easier to perform. And it made more sense. Going food was kind of like always a sensitive house, so I kind of got used to it, especially growing food. So I started community garden in the city of Atlanta, basically, started growing on hemp and last about 6 to people level. They're doing odd stuff, like going out of school and teaching school kids. So I kind of fell in love with it, actually being outside parts of me.
Wow, okay, that's just awesome. Do you all have any questions?
I do, yeah. So maybe once you first got into it, starting, and what were some of the biggest challenges for starting for you? And obviously you're not alone in this network of local people.
Well,
what are some of the gaps in that knowledge between
so
contributors?
we started actually an urban farm where it was no farm at.
Yeah.
Like, it was no farm here in 15 to 10 miles, no farm. So we started in an urban area where laws around farming. It was nobody doing the work. It was hard work, but like laws around doing how to tell land, how to develop land, right? So we had to basically come with stuff. Then also we did a crime investigation where crime was other problems. We were still in our tools. Basically we worked neighborhood to start off our farm. You might know up the city.
Yes.
Just like when the bird happens.
Yes, it's next to West End.
Next to
You might
West
not
End.
know the
Yes.
city, but you probably know the West End.
Yes, we started our farm there.
Not too far from here.
Yeah, so we actually, Oscar as a farmer, people get robbed, people get shot at, right there funding. And so I guess the big thing was volunteer. People that want to do it for free. You see the farmers that want to come here to do it, that was the issue with me too, I think. Because I think I started as a normal farmer. So I kind of elevated faster than other farmers. I guess they kind of get the neighborhood kind of ruled up. So our neighborhood basically uniform. So we both pick the land, pick it up, mix it, made it. Now the farm is right out to the sale organic. I still have to cover sales organic. So the farm all organic, a little bit on chemicals. So I think part of the other challenge was basically finding help together, doing the work. So in the city, different power, different structure workers. Farm is negative structure. It's always structure on the farm.
Yeah.
You already got testing down buildings. So basically, it's hard to think about slavery and dirt. They can put together too. Like slavery, dirt, hard work. We don't want to do that. Yes.
It's like y'all the force.
Exactly.
Hard work and dirt.
Wow.
Was there any barriers to finding people who wanted to buy your produce and engage involved with?
No, we always had a niche, like part of the market. My partner was a car seller, so a car seller can sell you a house on wheels.
Right.
Everybody eats, so I had no problem with that part. That was easy. We grow a lot, like we did livestock, we pack pasta on meat. We grow our own seasoning, herbs. We had a local market, and we had a farm market. We started a farm market. We farmed at our farm, and also a seed section around. Also, we had licenses to them. So we had a lot of other business come in. That was go back. Also, we had solar solar well. Eventually, we had our own system, our own house, sold dirt, made our own dirt, and we had our collection of houses. We had our own customers.
How does your farm like deal with some of the waste that you guys produce?
So we compost, and we had animals. But animals ate, and we did compost the animal. So it's kind of like we had chickens, goats, pigs. One thing we have on the land was cows. And we didn't own. We had horses. We used to contribute to school. Had horses come down to the schools, so we didn't have a route. When we probably was a tree, we said horses clear lands. So go horses.
You got any questions?
No.
I just wanted to know what type of things do you produce on your farm? What are you growing right now?
Right now, we have collard greens, beets, and we have wheat. And it's just, right now, we're in the sell our farm. We see nothing out of one crop. A lot of colors. I have a lot of colors.
A lot of collard greens.
I have every, up here, right, I have Georgia, North Carolina, and I have, collard right now. Well, still right now, actually, you said it.
Okay.
Just look at it.
First,
Yeah, no, that's not.
Christian only. Yes, yes.
And I'm not zero. Because I was the first person to actually get organic certified as an organic farmer in the city.
oh, really?
It's a process.
Congratulations. That's awesome. How was that process?
It was not hard, not all organic, but it was basically just somebody coming out to the QFC, coming out to the lands, and inspecting it and seeing what we use in our practices, and basically walk through what we do on a daily basis. So we're gonna mirror on fertilizer, we make our own soil. We had animals like that. We check the animal feeds, see what they were eating, and stuff. I guess it was simple. They weren't perfect.
Because he was doing the right practices. But yeah, and as you can tell, they did visit the farm, and they do follow your practices. Record keeping is key as well with getting any type of certification.
Do you think a lot of farms have the knowledge to be able to keep some processes like this up to standard for a long time? Because it seems like not only do you have to be vigilant with it, but you also have to be, you have to have like longevity to it.
I don't ever suggest that people get into agriculture for money, but if you're in agriculture, you should be making money. And I know different than in a restaurant. You just say, "Oh, I can cook." That's not enough. Because like you said, people will be stealing. You have people walking in and out with your silverware. Your employees taking cleaning supplies. Don't just jump into restaurant talking about. I know what I'm doing. Agriculture is the same way. USDA considers a beginning farmer 10 years in the U.S. And so, and why is that? It is not only do you have to, and if you do not listen, you have to learn your area where you live. No matter where. I have farmers that I work with in India who actually grow carrots. But they, literally, that's their family business. And so. The guy whose family it is, he actually helped me write software for record keeping. But that's what his family does. And so again, there is somebody there on a regular basis who is attending to the issue. Heirs property, no different. You know, you may have a bunch of family members, but it's usually one that tends to the land who is dedicated to that space. And so it's always good to work with somebody. But no, it takes a long time. So let's say you're a farmer, and I don't know if Pete does this, but I ran into some Pete farmers who believe in breeding after a certain moon, you know, that sort of thing, or planting after the strawberry moon and the harvest moon, and then there's, you know, and why is that? Because again, just depending on where you are, the sun, all of that kind of thing, it's a really big deal. Your soil may be mostly clay. So you can't just grow everything, you know, in that area, because you want to. Then you have to learn those plants, you have to learn the cycles. Some seeds go real deep, some do not. You know, can you learn all of that in 10 years? It may take you that long. So the wind, daylight saving time, that's for farmers. You know, I got 40 acres, there's no light switch. Not yet, we waiting on solar, we might have a light switch sooner than we think, but you know, and thank God for, you know, intelligent people and folks who take time out, like, you know, Farmer Pete who say, hey, I'm going to teach others, you know, the basics. And so anybody even research and development, it is not a quick process. You know, we understand feasibility studies, economic need research, it takes months. Thousands of people may have to be included. So you understand the process, but that is what agriculture is. It is literally research and development of what it is that you want to grow. You may hear him say that 15 times. What do you want to do? Okay. Are you going to feed people? Are you going for money? You really have to identify that. And then, you know, these are not real big words, business plan, farm plan, you know, but they can be to people who don't read and type a lot. And then I'm in the field a lot, you know, and so I don't even have time for that. And so that has caused a shift too, where farmers used to just go get money. I'm really one of those people. Okay, so this cost me $2. What is the other corner? $196. This is basil. So what I was saying before about the hydroponic towers, my first research, the 96 tiers. Herbs sell a lot per pound versus even a tomato per pound. Okay, so I can make a lot of money with just herbs and lavender scents and things. You know, again, $2 for seeds, and I may make $40 off of this pack of basil. So there's no reason why you shouldn't loan farmers money, things of that nature. But business plans, like you said, when they came in, they're trying to see exactly what fertilizer are you using, how much, how often do you tend to the plants. All that is part of a farm plan, you know. And so if I walk into the bank and say I need $25,000, they're like, okay, cool. They used to just give it to farmers. Now, even in your mind, because you don't keep up with the numbers, it costs $28,000. So you left out the bank and you was in debt, you didn't even know about it. And so now they just stop giving farmers money for a reason. That requires you to the FSA, Farm Service Agency for a lot of things, for loans and grants, because they have to help you get the record keeping part together. You know, the organic part, you know, again, very important, even what they call AgUP certification, good agricultural practices. And that is hand washing stations, you know, everybody's got gloves and aprons on, you know, when they're handling food. There's a bathroom there, and the people are tempted to go in fields. That's part of the AgUP certification. You gotta have a bathroom, folks. Just in case, I guess. You know. Hand washing station, bathroom, disposal. How do you dispose of, you know, what you're doing? If something goes wrong or bad, it's required for like industrial here. You actually have to have a disposal plan. Here it goes high or anything like, what are you gonna do with it? And so it's the agribusiness that people don't take seriously. You know, not the agri industry part. Oh, this dirt. Oh, this water. that part was easy, but again, what's your yield? You know, like I just said, 10 towers, 2 acres, that is my yield. And then you have to start putting those things into numbers. You know, how many pounds, you know, and I'm not sure, different things come in pounds and bushels. Yeah, just different, you know, ways, that you weigh it, and these costs per bushel. You know, you have to figure all those things out, and, you know, our goals, I think a lot of the obstacles come with, just people, not defining themselves in black and white. You know, so a lot of our sustainable, even our communities, we're just not quite there with trends and forecasting with food. You know, but we should.
I was gonna comment, like, how do you, large scale, you know, fifth generation farmers who just are used to conventional practices, like doing the same thing, and using synthetic fertilizers all the time. How do you get them to, like, embrace these ideas of, you know, crop rotations or general farming? Like, for instance, I was in North Dakota for a summer, and they've lost something like 4 inches of topsoil in the last 60 years, and they're predicting that, like, there's not gonna be a lot of topsoil left if they're
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, if they're keeping their practices the same. And like North Dakota, for example, is like one of the most agriculturally intensive places in terms of like how much money farmers spending on a tractor per amount of land they have. So yeah, like what are your thoughts on maybe that gap of getting these large scale people to embrace more, I guess?
Oh, USDA is gonna do it.
Yeah.
So, you know, like I said, the word is regenerative growth.
Yeah, as I was gonna say, as far as like what's more efficient, because if you're losing topsoil, then it would make sense to start composting your waste to replenish the topsoil. And, you know, rotating your crops to get the necessities of, like, hemp is a regenerative crop. You're planting hemp, it's not just for, oh, I'm using it to get a yield to produce, no, I'm using it to sustain my topsoil. And it's gonna keep it from eroding, whatever it is gonna be, depending on like the landscape of the area. You might wanna do terrace farming, because I know like in the Dominican Republic, they had like the farming going up the hill, up the mountaintop, just to sustain soil erosion. So you have to be innovative if you want to continue to produce in this system of climate change is happening. And so like when you're seeing these hurricanes wiping out, you know, acres and acres of farms, what can we do to offset climate change? Which is like, this is a huge it happened, but if you were preparing by taking those ways of being self-sustaining, making farming, you know, taking the animal, you know, droppings to replenish the soil because it is high in nitrogen, then that's going to be sustainable for you instead of saying, oh, I'm going to topsoil, I'm keep doing the same thing, then it's making the difference. It's insane. Cover crops, they require and cover crops help save erosion of the soil as well. So yeah, they are. If you don't make $900,000 a year on your crop, you know, it sounds like a lot. But even for something that size, because you have equipment, you make things. Right, you may have a profit of $900,000. But how about if I tell you that literally just adding in what you need, which is a crop rotation, we just show increase. They're not gonna move without a plan. We just tell you, people are that big, they're not moving without some numbers on the paper that shows how gonna happen. You know, that, this is what's gonna happen. But USDA is almost forcing people to get into the crop. Like there is money out there to support this, and we haven't been doing it. Now we will bring in a couple crop, like hemp is now considered a cover crop.
And all it does is put stuff back into the soil. It's amazing. I mean, I can't. The more and more I learned about marijuana, I was thinking, oh, this is supposed to get high. And I'm like, no, that's in there. You smoke, awful. And then just getting into industrial. The first flag was sown with him. Okay, it's lost. The soldiers during that time, their uniforms and rags, everything's here. They said they froze to death with cotton uniforms, cotton tents, and so with the hemp, they just kept them warm and all that. So they went with that. The state of Pennsylvania was built around a manufacturing process to grow all kinds of things. And so, how important is learning from history? That's why I said George Washington called it, because we really don't talk about Black history a lot, but he literally saved this economic South because a lot of small farmers who still had like hundreds of acres did not have access to equipment that was $15,000 to $20,000 tractors, and it still costs $2, $5, $6 figures. And so, with the crop rotation and value-added products, all the different things that came up with peanuts, right? That is a value-added product, peanut oil, which probably started a whole industry. It's a lot of industry. Peanut oil. Like, how serious is a value-added product? He didn't patent a lot because he believed all his ideas were for the world. One that he did was soybeans and colors. And so the paint you see used to just be in shades of gray. Where did that come from, right? Shades of gray, right? And then because of him and soybeans, now we paint in color. Soybeans was added to create color and stay in the walls, things of that nature. So he did patent that, and I think Mars bars. So everything that they own, all of that goes to Tuskegee because he was castrated and did not have any children. So that too, came along with all of those ideas and possibly being building their status. But everything he left again to Tuskegee. Everything we do is everything we eat and wear is wrong. That's just how serious it is. We're not getting away from it, more innovative ways to do things so we can around the city. I'm gonna keep teaching people because I don't care how many, indoors we have, we still have to learn how to grow. You still have to understand, overwatering or even have irrigation. And some plants need this temperature and how to rotate, so you'll have crop all year. Let's say you get a contract for blueberries. Blueberry season is here. You be able to store and keep selling. That's indoor storage. That outdoor wool farmers don't have any access to. Most of the time, they usually sell it in bulk, so they never make the value-added products because they have to sell it in bulk. They don't have to store it in packaging. A number of things, which is where I come in agribusiness. So I do help wool farmers and
That's one question. Based on what you were talking about with, was it working? You said unless they see the numbers, right? So that puts me in my realm because I'm in technology and data science, data analytics. What type of, if you can answer this, but what type of software or technology are you using to capture the analytics? Is there a standard or how are we doing this? How are we getting and capturing these analytics?
It's being done.
I know.
He gives you a statistic that over the last 30 years, we lost how much?
It was like 40 inches.
40 inches of topsoil. How would we know?
I mean, I'm saying that I'm sure that you're capturing it, and I'm just curious. I'm just curious what technology we're using.
Well, I work for a soil conservation district in So they have records of farmers for also.
So they always
CRM, so they use, what do they use? They use Excel sheets.
I know, but be honest with you, they probably have their own application to, algorithms that say this year, based on those numbers, that we know that we lost soil because of that. You see what I'm saying? Not that, someone may be coming out and measuring exactly, but it may just be based on wash away, things of that nature. I know Dr. B, he literally has sensors that he puts into to keep up with depletion, water depletion, if anything is going on, adverse with your crops. So, and I know for a fact, even as far as like, I just know like even with irrigation, my smartphone can track 30,000 acres. If I had 500 cows, they're tagged. And I can literally go on my computer to see where they are. That's just a huge market. I'm just saying, they already, technology-wise, they're already there, and it's probably software application specific.
Yeah, I would just be interested just to know, because, we have a break that we're getting ready, we're waiting from the EPA, and part of it is data analytics and being able to track. And so if there's an application out there, or if there's something that we have an opportunity to build, that's huge, to be able to build something that will support farmers and help them gather their data.
Well, I love SBIR, I mean, it's really for learning.
SBI,
SBIR/STTR. And it stands for Small Business Innovative Research. You can be an individual, apply that money, and try to figure out. I just love it because like me, like what I'm doing, even with record keeping, I have to, it's no software out there that is for a child. And so I'm working with farmers who did not finish high school. That's all they know is farming. So their business though, they literally manage 5 to 6 figures annually. People, appreciation schedules, they just lack the confidence to say that they, even after they're not. And then people, intimidate them about, like new things that are going on that they may not be privy to, but again. So a couple.
Yeah, I know my dad had an 8th grade education, but he is the smartest student I ever knew. He could do math, he could remember all of these different, data points and different things that need to be done and didn't have to write it down. So I definitely understand, the need for an innovation that actually supports them where they are.
Yeah.
But it by no means is it an indication of lack of intelligence.
Yeah.
It's just about innovation that actually matches the way that they grow or they learn or they think. Because that man right there, I couldn't even calculate on a calculator faster than his brain.
And I charge that to the word marginalized. You hear that word? But I think the farmers where they are, the reason the intimidation is because they have them left out. We just expect you to grow, we expect food, and then now there's a problem. Now there's a problem, with this. And so, and then we turn into them like, why you can't fix the problem? Where the cause of the problem? If you're a CEO, I'm gonna hire a new CEO because you cause a problem you probably can't fix. You see what I'm saying? I gotta bring in new eyes, new everything. And so I encourage, older farmers to get with their younger grandkids, bring them in more and, work with them. Even when I think of my Handy Kennedy's family, watch these, there's 12 of them. And now that's the 4th generation. 5th generation is about 20 of them, You all have to mirror something that they're doing on the farm, and then you can make it better. You see what I'm saying? As a young person, find out this is the one that's in charge of ordering and everything, you know. This one in charge of hiring and the Harvard pick fast out there. It's a Hispanic people, got 100 of them. You call them, they come out, do the whole form. Somebody contact you. You see what I'm saying? Everybody has to have their job, even on the farm, you know. He just, you know, he was by himself. It's not a one-man job. You know, you could, I have seen a man manage 20 acres. But he's still got to something. You still calling somebody. You know, do something. You can't, you know, so just keeping that part in mind moving forward, we all have to kind of pitch in. So I got a question for you, Pete. Now that you ain't just in the dirt, you're on top. How hard is it to like select a staff? You know, I didn't even realize you was related to Lovey until you know somebody was like, "Oh, Pete last name, kill him." I was like, it didn't even click. So I know like you have had to work with like many people. I mean, and train them at the same time. So you know, if we want to hire folks, how do you go about that?
I think, a lot of people that I train, they want to start an office, because a big part of it. And I think they picked the farm and really seen the value of it instead. But yeah, I feel that work with they want to pick the farm.
Yeah, and if you go by,
Yeah.
I would say to comment on the need to get your family to help, those people don't help you.
No.
They don't so but that's like I feel like even with the small business, the last people that help you are your family. Like you market to a certain niche and those people are like returning customers, but the people you live in the house with will be the last ones to support you in some situations. And so I feel like when you saying about this biggest thing was like finding volunteers, like having people who want to do it, because we all are in a space where I feel like now we're getting back into the farm, like we made it up to this high standard of production and consumption, and now we're seeing the consequences of living at this level, and now we're dialing it back down because like my minor is an engineer for development, and so they did rainwater capturing systems in a very small structure, and that was sustaining their neighborhoods. However, they didn't have the infrastructure to transport the water, you know, from the springs to support that. So it came out of necessity. So we're getting to a place now where we're having to go back to these basic sustainability practices because of overconsumption. So having different ways of incorporating innovative, sustainable ideas is going to propel, you know, the older farmers as well, because they show up to the record keeping meetings and all the education. So they're not open to learning new things. They really want to continue to sustain something that they built because they built it from the ground up. And so I can agree to save my farm, then I'm going to make sure I'm showing up because a lot of these educational opportunities are free. It's literally all you have to do is show up. And as you said, the hardest part is just like, you know, being consistent with showing up because once you put something in the ground, whether or not you do something with it, it's going to return. But the amount of effort that you put into it is going to determine the yield that you get. If you are, you know, trying to be organic, what is your why? And I feel like that, like kind of, I hear that a lot in education because I'm a teacher now, teaching 8th grade science. But literally, they ask you, what is your why? Because it takes a lot to have to show up every day and be on the off the clock and on the clock, even when you're supposed to be getting paid for it. You're just like, I should be getting paid for this, but that's not why you're doing it. You're doing it because you want to build sustainability in the world. You want to create a better future for the future generations and, you know, build a community because we're so isolated. But if everything was to go down and Kroger didn't have access to transportation or the roads froze or whatever the case may be, then do you know where your nearest farmer is? Like when you say in the 10-mile radius, are you going to have access to food? And that to me, I feel like is the biggest like it's like a scare factor, like we're in a space where there's all these people, like if the system of logistics was to shut down, what could we sustain for ourselves? And that's what a lot of people are going to older farmers and like, I will work for you for free if you show me how to do it. And so that's how we bridge the gap between how do we get people to work and how do we sustain our farms is, internships and, mentorships and because they're people with the knowledge, they don't mind giving the knowledge away as long as, you're having hands. So it's about building that community. So that's why it is agriculture for united people, because we have to be united people to even be able to sustain all of these things because it's a lot of different resources all over the place, but how do they, if everybody has it in their own space, and we're not coming together, then it's not, really helping each other.
Yeah, the big farm can be out, and that's my main thing, like, there's a lot of people who coming into this ag space, urban investors or retired people. And, again, 10 years is the difference. We cannot leave out the people who have been farming for generations. They know exactly what needs to happen. Propagation, where, I could take a piece of the plant, stick it in the soil and regrow it. That's not genetically modified. That's on the farm's schedule, and so everything that we think we know is still based on the original farmer. We have to make sure the environment is right. The soil has to be right. Agriculture for United People is the campaign that we're doing to, again, educate our farmers so they know about conservation practices on the agribusiness side, even agritourism, which is kind of what Farmer Pete does because he's a teacher. So he's doing something with his farm other than just growing food. He's allowing people to come and learn. That is a part of agritourism. He may not be charging for that, but he could. I was no doubt. But yeah, literally, even for teaching, all of that is a part of agriculture, agritourism, agri-industry, agribusiness, agritourism. Those they flow hand in hand. As farmers get older, again, bringing in other ways to make money with the farm as well. It's very important. When I think 30,000 acres. I think walking the beach, and just filming, the ocean. You're like, oh, it's so bad. It's so, literally 30 minutes of that is still soothing. And so just even inviting people to walk through the crops, it's a mental health thing. Take your shoes off. It's a requirement. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing how agriculture, again, overlaps with everything we do without even thinking. People who have Alzheimer's, dementia, they ask them to start gardens because it's just the start to finish causes synapses to start in your head. And it's amazing because you're watching something grow and change that you created. And so it's a satisfaction there. Dopamines, all kinds of things are created with gardening. Just soothing for autistic people, animals, just, it's just amazing, again, what agriculture can do if we just been so used to getting into the city. And, farming is important. It's just process. Let's have 50 acres of the same thing, and that way we can feed the whole country. Sound like it was gonna be okay. But again, in like North Dakota, South Dakota, those places, Brent Belt, they're used to large farming. But in the South, the history has never been large farming. It's never been large farming. As far as data points, every 5 years they have an ag census. Yeah, like they do a regular census. Yeah, every 5 years they have an ag census.
Okay.
Yes, And so I want to connect you with those people, because those people only work from data. And I'm sure they can help you with the algorithms. But they do those every 5 years. And the information for the one that they did, I think it was 2019, 2020, just came out. You know, and then they're gonna do another one this year. So that's the difference, like, why do they do that? Agriculture is very important, they need to know exactly how many farms they have. 500 acres is considered a small farm.
What?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I know, right, but again, when we think of farming, we're trying to feed people, you know. And I told you, like, even in one spot, it's like 300 people in every direction, how much food? So we fly in and import more food than we actually export. And so, my goals always is, it's kind of where we don't sell for top price, because it's local. Okay, I'm just talking about local, you know, as anywhere in Georgia that feeds Atlanta, that is local, anything 1,000 miles or less. But literally just understanding that, yeah, local, Georgia grown, and so USDA in Georgia, not USDA, Georgia DA, Georgia Department of Ag, has something called Georgia Grown to help with marketing, Georgia farmers. So, again, and my favorite cooperatives, you know, Lando Lake is a cooperative, Sunkiss, Ocean Spray, these are cooperatives that, have several farmers linked in with them, and they use their particular brand to push their product. Cause yeah, I mean, I know business and all of that, but I'm growing oranges, and they are just hook up a Sunkiss, economies of scale. It's a big word for farmers as well, because they are different sizes, people who want the same product, you know, and so the cooperative, I'm passing out seeds, everybody like the same. We all growing and caring for that sort of thing. And so, in moving forward, trying to help our small farmers realize they need a brand. I gotta get a business card first.
So I have a question. With this community that you're building, this oneness and coming together, how can we help? Like, how can I personally help this collective? Because I know we're doing things, but until I came here, I didn't really know all that you do. And so what can we do? Because, you know, we have voice power, we have influence in our own circles, and we do know how important it is for the sustainability and the continued outreach and growth, and even education.
You gonna take that?
Yeah.
First of all, you can buy our food is so important, so we sold, but our food basically comes from the ground, it comes from the ground, but it comes from local. Like, that's the more the farmer, the more we put into it. And you go to our farm and volunteer farm, see what we put into our food, and to see our sites, how we clear our sites.
So we don't want your voice, we want your hands.
No, I
and your
love
money.
that. Volunteerism, and then coming and supporting.
And also, you can on donate and
Okay.
share the vision, like help us support our work out to people out and their support.
Yeah, I think we definitely need more of that, from just outside of the community, because it benefits us all, right? But I think, just from my perspective, I'm new into the whole conservation and agriculture scene. I started last year, in my older age, I've been digging dirt since I was little. But just seeing what I've learned so far has just driven me into composting, recycling, and doing all these other things. But how do we, what's the way that we bring other people into this? This is a mastermind conversation here. Like, this is a mastermind level conversation. Like, seriously. And so I just, when I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, there should be 100,000 people in this room, or this should be televised, or this should be,
Preaching.
this should be, you know, broadcasted so that people can really understand the impact and the necessity of participation, of cooperation, and support, right?
So, to answer that question, ladies and gentlemen, we're live on YouTube. Right, so we.
Hey, people! Hey, good people!
So tomorrow will be episode 7 of the AgUP World podcast, and we started to enhance, you know, these conversations and give a platform to like give voice to these people who are doing the work, really, and just, you know, create a space for people to, you know, contribute their knowledge, because we all need it. So just trying to get maybe like a platform to where it's you can all share your knowledge and put it all in one space. I would say would be the biggest necessity, because you know you have like Facebook groups like there's Black farmers on Facebook, like urban farmers, but just having it all in one space to where it can be like a forum, I would say would be the biggest thing. So we want to continue having events like these, and then get the marketing to where the level of, okay, now we have 100,000 people in the auditorium, and you know have expanded to that level of.
Absolutely. So I'm saying it. Like I am a proponent of that happening. So I'm gonna do whatever I can. Y'all see it, it's live. I'm gonna do whatever I can do to help promote this, because it goes right into everything that I've learned, but also it has just really pushed me like aggressively, but nicely, into wanting to be in support of you. Go get some collard greens, I want them. And just really just tour your farm. Take my grandkids and my nieces and nephews and great nieces and great nephews out to see these things and get them away from the tablets, away from the TV, away from the video games, you know, and balance that out. It just really.
Because that's, you know, that's the real world.
Yeah.
You know, and you're getting lost in meta and all this, you know, online stuff, but when you get out there into the farm, you get out there into experiencing where your food comes from. A lot of kids think your food comes from where?
The
refrigerator, right? Yeah, but when you see food grow, at least plant life grow, and it's like, damn, and it grows from a little seed, pops its little head out of the dirt. Oh shit, what's that? And then it grows up into a big thing like, yeah, what's your name is? Oh, it's beautiful. And then you pluck whatever it is you grew, and you eat it, and you consume it, and it tastes so much better than what? Products. Hey, it's something special. So,
But I can say with our farm, with our garden, it wasn't a farm, it wasn't farm. But what it created was a sense of community, because we grew it, we picked up rocks, pulled weeds, pulled all of that stuff, that hard work. So when we saw it grow, we didn't want it to be wasted. So we had the stuff that for our family, but then we ended up giving it to church members, to neighbors, to everyone. Because you don't want your.
And then that's the issue that we're having now, because why is there a food crisis and we have the capacity to feed the entire world in the United States? That doesn't. Why are there hungry children in a place where we have the capacity to grow food? Like that's the real problem here. Like you said, that we can grow in masses and literally give food away for free. If we would get to a point where it's sustainable to do those agricultural practices that provide enough for everybody, like she was saying, doing the co-op, because our hydroponic tile might not grow enough food for us to have a tomato, we can come and get tomatoes. But if I have a network of people who are in rural areas that have that surplus, I can supplement my farmers market with the produce from rural farmers, and they'll have somewhere to sell their, things, rather than saying, oh, we have this surplus and we made our contract and Publix is not gonna buy the rest of our tomatoes. Well, now we can give you an outlet to reach in local farmers markets. So that's a way to.
So we're working on that too, a way to, be one-stop shopping, for anybody who cannot do their own marketing, who cannot do their own, yes. Okay, yeah, please.
So we got a farm in the West End, like go from July to October.
Okay.
And basically, especially farmers come up and bring in food, and also we will sell it for them. So they drop it out on Thursday, because the farmer market is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We drop it on Thursday, then we can sell it price Saturday, and check to the West.
And
you said it's July through October?
October, yes. So it's in the West End at the park.
Okay.
So,
We're gonna make sure in July, the week before July, we
And
get,
you can get a date from them.
yeah, get everything communicated out and we just rock this thing.
sell it out.
Let's sell it out.
Yes.
Hashtag
Any other,
sell it
things you wanna leave us with?
I guess if you can't farm, you can still buy land. Like us can farm. It's always opportunity. Like you can be a CEO, you don't need to be dirty. You can be a net owner, you don't be dirty. So basically having that mindset of owning land, so somebody else can farm with the skills that can grow their own food, is never having that.
So how would one find that person that's going to farm your land?
So no, so that farm, we have interns that would like to farm, and not farm, so we can teach you how to farm, and then also somebody that want to farm, they will go up to the property and farm it, and basically just have a shift walk, and put it together, and also create a bar product on the land as well, and so those are the needs to support that, and those are farmers. So, educational background, whatever. Selling the food very quick.
Okay, and tell us, the name of the farm and the location.
So no cigarette farms, we don't have to have a physical site yet, but Gilly Garden is the old farm is on 286 Open Terrace. So
Yep, in the back of, Oakland City,
Back of Oakland City Park.
train station park, we're in the back of the park, actually, it's on the other side of the park. I think I could go through the park.
nothing more.
No. Okay. Yeah, Gillum Park, Gillam.
Gilly
I
Garden.
Community garden.
Yeah.
But my phone number is on 453 4152.
404
453.
453
4152.
4152. Farmer Pete.
P, as in the letter P.
Yeah, Pete.
No, yeah.
It's the letter P.
It's the letter
Like Mr. P.
Yeah.
Just one P.
I like that.
One letter, farmer Pete. It's called everything.
Farmer P.
Pete just one P, farmer Pete.
Okay.
I would call him Pete.
I'm consumer Z. I'm good here. I get colored. So I'm consumer Z. It's
Consumer Z.
Consumer Z.
Yeah, we're the boys, so we can put her work in there too.
I'm trying to stop me.
Trying to stop it.
It's on and popping there. I got the right one.
Okay, then, thank you so much for coming, everybody. Do you all have any questions that we did not answer? That you can think of?
Right now, but we'd love to get your numbers.
Yes.
I know that.
Should you too? That's how you feeling? Should.
Towards.
I don't think we should tour the site. So this apartment complex is trying to be forward thinking, and so they were like, we're gonna put a garden in this place. And so two farmers was like, it's not a good place. And so they're not just.
But I think for the specific of where it is, it's compost, help them see that they save their money.
Yeah.
So that money come back to them. You know, the food scraps turn into compost. Compost, good, that's what we do. Okay. It's a start, but it is build up that their own, have their own message on compensation. Simple. Make it their own soil. The soil is turn, they food waste, a right on the field, right on the field, turn into rich soil. And grow.
If I could chime in too, like, just my 2 cents, like, yeah, composting is great for, a big thing we're missing now is like nutrient density, so like a strawberry like 50 years ago, you know, has the same nutrient density of like 8 strawberries today. So like, yeah, if you're getting into composting and you want to recycle those nutrients, then yeah, you don't have to buy 8 times as much strawberries for the same nutrients. Those are just my 2 cents.
So that would be a really big deal if we could even start composting. And then even work with them to see if we can get that compost to you guys, you know, farmers not too far. Something that they could, because composting, like I have pots in here, you all can pick those, those may be the most awful seeds ever. I didn't know that either. But yes, and so literally I have a compost site that even the farmers, urban farmers, really, orchards, and then windows could use that too. So anybody here.
I mean, the compact can use it on their own landscape growers. And then got to invest. Compost is good for grass, for ornamental and herbs.
Wow. Horticulture's big.
And grass.
Anything.
And you put your grass in the grass.
For farming.
Or horticulture, which is plants
Yeah.
and yes, things that are not edible and herbs or whole crops. So yeah, that sounds great. So that might be the next step for this particular place, just because I think, and I would walk people around there. They do have the boxes set up, it's nicely fenced in. But because it's just behind buildings, it's certainly not a good spot to try and grow outdoors.
Oh, okay.
But because of the location, I did walk around there. I felt the same way. I just want to go see nothing, and I was so quick and see nothing. So yeah, I want to go say nothing. And the fertilizer too, I bought from Walmart too. I wasn't gonna say nothing either, but on the bags, Farmer P pointed it out. It says don't use this as fertilizer. How funny is that, right? Look, a big old bag and it says organic seed starting mix. And it's not fertilizer. You know, I'm laughing because it's just amazing how you go to the store and it's just the stuff is there. Like, right, it's might as well be robots. You know, and so yeah, so even with seeds, you may need to even buy them online to even get them. I like to have papers on all my stuff. Where do they come from? They go out your farm. You know, I like to, you know, I'm that person. Pedigree on everything. Corn seeds. How big is that? When you look at the stock market, it's folks like, oh, agriculture, you know, we worried. Even though the stock market is say gold, silver, wheat, soybean, corn. So it is definitely very important, you know, to the world.
I was gonna say, commenting on like this composting idea, like I'm trying to start a composting section at my school that I work at, because the food waste, like as an environmental engineer, that's a big deal as far as like dealing with the waste and the leachate and that getting out of the thing. So the more that we reduce our waste, we can cut back on climate change, because there are not as many, you know, trash runs happening. But if we have that community space like recycling, that saves space in the trash cans. The same thing will go for composting. Like it's gonna save space in the trash can. You're spending less money on trash bags. You're spending less money on getting it picked up, and the gas for the landfill trucks to be driving around the city. So really, again, it goes into like the innovation and the engineering of having that efficiency. Like what is gonna continue the efficiency is just more so getting the buy-in of people to participate. But when you make it fun, like educational, like you said, therapeutic, like, oh no, I'm doing this, I'm doing my part, help save the planet. We all can't do that. Because, you know, some people love baking too much,
I'm sorry.
literally, my contribution can just be throwing the rest of my effort, because like I said, these kids are way school nowadays, they'll say one bite and throw it in the trash, and they'll just put it in compost and drop it off, or have these local places to where people can write their compost, they do the same thing for recycling, so I don't think it's a matter of not, you know, wanting to do it, I think it's having access to it, like you said, just having it somewhere where it's easy for me to drop off my compost, drop off my recycling, and go on about my day.
So one thing I want to add about the composting, because I just entered a program in my county, in DeKalb County, they're doing like a POC for Avondale Estate, so they gave us all composting bins for our home. But the issue that I had is that we were not given, I mean, I have education, but I wasn't given instructions and things like that. And I do believe that that is something that has to go along with, you know, wanting people to be in participation of the composting so that you can be more confident. I'm not as confident as I would like to be in this program because I'm like, do I put this in here? Do I not put this in here? And so that's just one thing from an observation. If we're going to do composting, let's do education along with it before we give them, you know, the tools. Yeah, so that everyone can be engaged, and it is, there's a level of intentionality to it versus just going along with the thing. You know what I'm saying? And it has to be people who really want to do it, because composting is a commitment.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm digging this strawberry. Get this out of here. You know, I'm digging the trash because I have committed to compost. And I feel bad when food waste goes in the trash.
Yeah.
You know, so that's just my soapbox real quick. As a composter, new composter, make sure we have education. It's so vitally important. It's so vitally important that we understand what we're doing, why we're doing it, and how to do it effectively. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes, I think also composting, if you do composting right, you have worms too. Worms are biodegradable. You can sell to places, stores, that buy worms.
and I forgot what it's called. It's
Rubber composting.
no, the raising worms.
I used to have
Fish
a,
bait.
I used to have a bait bed.
No, it's called something.
It's
Right,
right.
you know, agriculture school people.
Yeah, it's
Agriculture.
from great coolers and.
Yeah, kids.
Oh, I was just kind of
Yeah, and all of that.
What's fish bait?
I'm just having flashbacks. I had to block that out of my mind. Maybe it was childhood trauma, but I did have a bait bed in the rotted wood bed, and that's what we used, was the wood blocks, and they, and up under there is where my bait. So, there's that.
Okay, let me think, so it's 2:30, normally this is what we are trying to kind of go outside and hit the garden and come back in. But we are already talking about exactly, what the next steps will probably be even for this application. Thank you, Lydia, is Sheena Farms. She's the person that actually works with this particular facility. And, you all, in contact her as well, but again, she works with him closely. Let me make sure I went over everything. USDA, so I try to just make sure that we facilitate, people in the room, make sure we cover everything. I didn't get to do the survey stuff because y'all already was in the conversation, but, so just for my reading thing, you guys are off different counties, correct?
Yeah, we're all from different
Like
areas.
Cobb,
I grew up in Decatur.
I'm an international student.
yeah, cool. So same thing, so urban agriculture innovation production is, new to USDA, and why is that? before, prior to 2018, you had to have 5 acres minimum to be considered a farmer, rancher, or involved in those things at all. And so now, again, because people are growing stuff in their yard and they are selling stuff, and they're feeding their neighbors and family, USDA seen a need for them to get. And it's a good thing, because if I grow strawberries and someone got sick that I didn't know of, they can trust it back to me and we can get this, so I don't have no lawsuits and things like that. So it's good that USDA is getting in. So urban agriculture, less than 1/10 of an acre is considered farming. So when I brought you these lovely pies, you can get you a farm number by growing cannabis. Okay? And why is that? Again, because they need to be able to track.
Can you repeat that, you can get a farm number or not?
I know everyone needs a farm number. If you're growing something, you need a farm number. In the city, people are like, oh, is there farm numbers in the city? Well, before they were city, it was rural. Just understand that all of America. USDA is the oldest states department. That means they're in every state, every county, every territory that belongs to America. So they have been around since before slavery. And so that's why a lot of the discrimination and things, systematic racism that goes on inside of there is because it originated during a time when there was an issue, civil rights was not an issue. Anyway, I say all that to say, so now we're moving forward, urban agriculture innovation production. And if you are thinking about community systems, even here or at your place, they have a grant out right now. It's due March 10th, but it is around planning for, again, urban ag community systems or implementing urban ag community systems. Urban means 50,000 or more people in a location. And so if there is that around you, which is anywhere in Atlanta, it's 12 million people in Georgia, so it's pretty hard not to find yourself in an urban area. And so I say that to say, if you are even thinking about community systems, nonprofits, governments, and schools are eligible applicants for that. So I talked about the SBIR, Small Business Innovation Research. STTR is around technical research, which means maybe coding and things of that nature. But why did they come out? SBIR has been around for 100 years, and they literally go around giving out money for innovative research. So if you have ideas of things that may be new or on the cusp of trends or what have you, and they do 12 different state departments, not just USDA, Department of Defense, Department of Transportation, NIH, which is the National Institute of Health, all of the, again, state, about 12 of them under United States are they giving out innovation and research grants where you can just come up with something, especially like Department of Transportation or renewable energies, even tractors and things that may be ran by solar. And some type, in my head, because I'm a nerd, thinking ran by solar and then it would be some type of combustible gas as well to propel at the horsepower of our large tractors, 500-600 horsepower. Solar, I don't know if they can get up as high as that. And so we may need some type of combustible situation there so that we can, again. So they got money for that. You can think about it, and then that's phase one, and then they have phase two if they accept your idea. they'll give you money to run it out. At the end, though, they always want what's called commercialization. So that means some kind of way they can mass produce whatever idea you come up with. And give you a percent. Thank God for the government, right? So, that community systems, even like this place is very important. And folks getting involved in, just growing and participating, in trying to just learn what that's about. We just like to facilitate anybody who is like, oh yeah, I am interested in growing for food. Oh, I am interested in growing for profit. And so either way, there is a space for you in USDA. It's gonna train you in all areas, agribusiness, agriculture, and agritourism. So they have something special
I think the question is, how do we get a farm number?
for farm number. FSA, Farm Service Agency.
They're gonna tell you what your farm number is based on, like you saying, when everything was approved. There's an allocation for whatever piece of land that you're on to have a specific farm number, and you just register that as the information that goes on your schedule F, when you're filing the farm taxes and whatever loan you're applying for. You can say, hey, this is my farm number, and put it in the farm plan, and so they're gonna use that number to allocate, okay, this is where you're being regulated, like.
And you have to either own or lease the property. So, does a lease at your apartment satisfy? It does. Again, you have to own or lease the property. You just stand there and you got your name on nothing, they may not give you a farm. But again, if you lease or own the land, a deed or a lease is required for a farm number. She mentioned Schedule F. So let's say you don't have a farm number, but you are, a Schedule C is for businesses and it's a profit and loss. So Schedule F is a profit and loss for farming and ranching activities. So if I grew 13 heads of lettuce and I have a receipt book and I sold them for 5 cents each, then I can fill out a Schedule F. Why is that important? Because you do want to have records that you have been farming. Okay, so when y'all file your taxes this year, you can say last year, I grew, 15 bunches of onions and I sold 14 of them for 2 pennies. And so I made a profit. Or I didn't make a profit. It's a good part about Schedule F, Schedule C's, it's a profit and loss statement. But it's proof that you've been farming. Schedule F is proof that you've been farming. Even working with USDA, 10 years minimum, how do you prove that? Schedule F is one way. Once you get a farm number and you actually, whatever you're producing, you report it to them. That's also a way to gain years. And he said something very important. I don't know a lot about farming, right? And I own some land. But if he can supply me a farm hand, and I could put on my application and say he's been farming 7, 10, 20 years, that's gonna make me look better with USDA trying to give me some money. I don't know nothing about it, but I got a farm hand who does. And so that's a really big deal, having a farm hand who has the experience. If you put that on your loan applications, even to a bank or to the Farm Service Agency, it's just gonna make you look better. I've had so many people call me and say, Karen, I got the money, I got the land, and I used UGA. So another quick thing too, so I was talking about paperwork and forecasting. Land grant schools, 1890, 1865. So 1865 land grant schools are in every state. Okay, Clemson University, North Carolina A&T, UGA here, RM University, I'm just name throwing some out. And then 1890 are historically black college university and land grant schools, like Fort Valley State University, Tuskegee, which was just recently added. So it's only 18 of those versus there's a land grant school in every state. So there's only 18 historically black college university land grant schools. They're called 1890. Anyway, I say that to say the money trickles down through them as well for farming, so you can always connect with them. You don't have to be an entity to receive monies through the college to help you with your farm. You know, I've seen them, let's say you're already growing blueberries. They'll come out and maybe bring you about 15 more blueberry trees, help you with the fertilizer, you know, and that sort of thing, and put them in. I've seen them redo a muscadine farm with a post, because they usually the post have to be this high. And quick fun fact, so muscadines, they keep them on posts this high, and they stretch the vines out. And that's because you can drive by and pick them. And so I didn't even know, I learned that about, you know, muscadine. I mean, I probably could do more. I did more than just let them grow on that one line, but it's amazing how, again, how all farmers and the way they do things, how it just travels on. Another quick fun fact, cotton. Cotton grows as big as trees. They spray something on it to keep it from growing but so high. Again, for picking for people picking. And so, again, why do we do things like that? There's a lot of things that are from the past that we're learning to adjust and readjust. I don't know if they ever stop doing cotton that way, because now the harvest machines are set for that as well. And, you know, but again, it's just amazing how, you know, the limitations from the past still follow us even now. So, okay, so we're gonna wrap it up. If everybody is content with that little urban ag presentation, and we know about Noble Shanghai Farms and Farmer P. And we can go get more information there. I have not brought this young lady up. We've been talking to her the whole time. Janelle, you want to give us some final words about solar and urban ag areas and community, as quick as you can be. Yeah, we're not going to get well.
Are you sure? I don't know.
I'm sorry, she's like so nerdy that I just be like, what are you saying? And then I could be, you know, cut her off. I'm a nerd and she still knows way more than me, so I might be hating sometimes too.
Like my mama told me, what I know, what I know can blow your mind and put a split down your side. Watch out now. But in terms of solar energy, we talked earlier, in terms of agriculture and urban ag setting. Let's say it's difficult for you to access water on the facility, and it'd be easier just to, let's say, if you have a spring or a body of water that's close to you, you can do a water pump the water close to your facility. And first of all, you have to think about what are the type of electrical loads that's needed to run the agricultural applications that you're doing, okay? Are you using it for irrigation? Are you using it to run pumps? You know, what are you using it for? Are you using it to run devices or loads? And when are the loads, when are you utilizing the loads? Are you utilizing it during the daytime? Are you utilizing it at nighttime? Because if you utilize it only during the daytime, you don't need any batteries. If you utilize it at nighttime, you will need batteries, okay? And if you need batteries, how long are you running this item, okay? So there's a lot more things you have to think about your production and all that stuff. And then number two, electricity bills are very, very, very high. High. And so when you're also thinking about that, would it be better to have your own on-site energy production to offset those electrical loads? Most of the time it's yes, because over a period of time, now we see how fast electricity bills are going up, very, 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 very fast. This is unimpressive. But then also we just had a nuclear plant that we built. I mean, let's just see, how do you build a nuclear plant just to run a turbine? I mean, when I found out how nuclear energy is utilized, it blew my mind. I said, damn, we do fission and use the fission to create electricity. No, you just use it to heat gas, make things turn turbines. Whatever. So with that being stated, it would behoove you to get a solar energy system, on-site energy generation to reduce your operational costs when you're doing a farm setup, okay? Usually in urban settings, you better be farming. But, they're doing aquaponics, hydroponics, stuff like that with run pumps. These pumps have to run 24/7. That means you have to have batteries, okay? So, I would suggest, is there financing, is a PPA possibility that can be utilized to help reduce those costs? But overall, I guarantee you can look at a bill that's a couple $1,000, and you can look at a solar project that may be $1,000 or $2,000, and you can definitely offset that cost. You also have the 30% tax credit, a 50% REAP grant, so that can really help to reduce the cost of the solar installation thus reducing your operational costs, thus hopefully reducing the cost of your end food product going to your consumer. And so that's very important. And then if you want to see your product at night, solar street lights will be a good consideration to add to your solar portfolio. But that's it. That's about it. I'm not sure if somebody can add anything on to it.
And Janelle, can you just leave us with your information as well? Just make sure we have everything about
Solar Time USA.
Solar Time USA. Okay. Telephone number is 943-226-7199. Repeat, 943-226-7199. Email address is jpminef as in Frank at solartimeusa.com.
Time with the light.
Time with the wine is 99. Because we're cool like that. Time with the wine. Yes.
Do you installs with geothermal yet?
Geothermal, yeah, I mean, it depends upon what, it's the first time for everything. We haven't did a geothermal. But, isn't that like a solar thermal? Or geothermal is like from the earth? Oh, that's. You got to talk, sound exciting. I think I know what you're talking about because the coils are going to the
water,
ground.
and
Yes.
it goes over to the solar.
Uh-huh.
Then it go right for turn it out. So turn the cold.
Okay.
And then air gets the water and say.
That sounds like air conditioner. Related.
It's something that way. It's
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, well, they do that because so much because the air that gets from the ground is always at like that particular ambient temperature, of 60 degrees or something like that. And so if it's real hot outside, they don't have to cool as much to cool to the temperature they want.
You pull it from the ground.
I think you were saying, like the pump the water to the geothermal system. He's saying can it be powered by solar panels?
Anything that's electrical can be powered by solar.
So, yes.
Yes, that's what it's trying to do.
No.
Have you done one before? Does that sound like something we did in Dominican?
But no, we did build like pipes from a community, reservoir that we built, like a stone masonry water tank. But it was like gravity powered, so because we built it like above the communities that it was going to, we didn't really require the electricity to come because they didn't have the resources to get all the important equipment up there, so it had to be real like small scale, just gravity flow into where it was going.
Interesting, so yes, there is always space for innovation, okay? So yeah, Janelle, Menifee, Solitime, been on for quite some time. Research and development revealed to me that 85% of the world has moved to renewable energies. And we are slow, dragging our feet as a country. Yes, so for that reason, also lithium, mining lithium, is something too got into. I realized again the wave of the future, and that is electric batteries. And so when we hear the word electric batteries, we think solar power. For real, because you know, how are we going to power these batteries that push a car, or push anything for that reason? And so, yeah, so we definitely keep Janelle close, and anything you guys need to bounce off of her, she may give you her number. So,
You mentioned lithium batteries, you need to make sure that the lithium batteries are very safe because they can't blow up on roads.
yeah. Hemp is a way to make cooling plates for those lithium batteries. And there are some scientists right now who are trying to make lithium batteries with hemp casings. To keep it cool.
It's not.
Right, it's fire retardant and
It's really, you know, lithium is a very active element. Put that in the air, go boom. Okay. So, you know, people have put, you know, lithium batteries in that, you know, part of the phone. It was a phone that was not well made, and phone in their shirt pocket, and they go boom on their heart, or they end up dead, you know. And then also, when lithium was first started to come out, there was such a problem with catching on fire and exploding. So they added, I think, lithium iron phosphate, and doing a little bit more combination with, you know, chemistry elements, how they packed it, how they developed it. So, you know, just be very careful of the source that you get your lithium from, and make sure that it's well engineered. Instead of just getting, it's something special. Make sure that
came from China. I'm just kidding.
well, it can be made. It may come from China, but it can be engineered and designed in the U.S. and manufactured in China, like a contract manufacturer brought back to the U.S.
Sound like an investment to me.
But just make sure it's safe. People on television, TV land, be careful.
Be careful. So yeah, just keep that in mind, you know, as we are moving forward, that solar is a part of our future, especially in the states where we're located, Georgia, down here. They have other renewable energies such as wind and water, but again, it's been so close to the equator. We get a lot of sun, and so we definitely want to start taking more advantage of that. Getting people, you know, when they do build structures like this, to include solar paneling and to push our government more into getting away from oil and gas and into renewable energy. Okay? Terry Parker, she is our host of AgUP, Agriculture for United People. So we are located on YouTube, and it is AgUP World, if you're looking for us on YouTube. And a no G dash capital UP dash world, AgUP World, what does that stand for? Agriculture for a United People, because again, we have to move in the right direction. There is no culture without agriculture. So you can definitely find us there. Sunday nights, 9:30 p.m. We'll be featuring the National Women in Agriculture in Georgia this Sunday. So you can definitely check that out. And they are beginner farmers in urban areas. And then, yes, we have a website, agriculture-up.org. You can just check it out. There's some things that we are trying to get started as a whole. So it's not a real functioning website, but it's just to give you an idea of which way we want to move. I'm Coach K. You can reach me. My cell is 678-760-7447. You can reach me at Coach. It's my email address, coach@agriculture-up.org. And yes, and the nonprofit that we represent is Agripreneurs. And so we are always, again, trying to focus on the agri-industry, agribusiness, agritourism, and educating so people can turn their passions into profits. So thank you all so much for coming out. And yes, we love intimate settings because we can really answer questions that way. So yeah, the less people, the more people, more knowledge, the more better. So yes, thank you again for coming. And we are dismissed. Thank you, Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Z. Thank you. But you all have my hand because I'm here to come keep the audience and interns.
Okay, bye.
Your students.